Welcome everyone as we have a closer look at techniques we can use for card modelling. When you fold card without having scored it, first of all, you can end up with a kind of curve on your bend. It's just not quite as accurate. So a technique that you should use for every card model you make is to score your card before you bend it. Scoring card to create a curve involves making a series of divisions right the way along the length of your card. For this example here, I'm using a distance between each one of 10 millimeters. So you'll see I'll go down one side marking off every 10 millimeters, and then I'll go to the other side and do the same, just because we know that if we've got two measured points, and when I then go to join them up, I am going to be more accurate. So you can see here I'm going over this with a pencil just so it's clear to see in the video what I'm doing. If you were confident enough, you could just go straight over to going and scoring this with your open scissors. It's probably worth noting at this point that I'm using scissors a lot and I'm using a ruler a lot, just because I realise that's probably more likely the tools and equipment that you would have at home. Ideally, if we were in the classroom situation, I would be making sure that you all had a cutting mat, that you all had a safe edge to use, like the one you can see in the top left corner, and a craft knife as well. They would be the ideal resources, so if you did happen to have them at home, please use them. So once you've done all your scoring all the way along, just very gently push your card round to create a curve, as you can see. Just really taking your time. Sometimes you might need to go back over one of your scores again until you get that kind of almost cylindrical like shape. So the next wee step is to create a flange, and a flange is just the word for the tabs that go along the bottom of this cylinder, which increase the surface area that you've got, the contact area, meaning that I can join this cylinder onto another flat piece of card. So the process for this is just to measure up. I've went 10 millimeters again, mark your line going across and score it so that you can bend that, these tabs out easily, snap up the wee 10 millimeters and fold it out the way. Now this next joining technique, the slaughter cross halving that I've called it, could be called a notch joint, and you'll see it being called various different things, but it's very similar to a cross halving that we would use in the workshop. So the first thing you have to do is decide on your spacing. I've just measured in 20 millimeters or something like that from the sides. What is important though is you get your distance right on both sides. So if your slot is 40 on one, and the two parts are the same size, it would be 40 on the other. So I've measured up 40 here and put a little mark for where I'm going. The next thing I need to do is mark the thickness of my card. Now the corrugated card that I'm using just now is really thin. It's only 1 millimeter. So I'm just going in, that's almost just like one snip of your scissors. So I'm just marking in that extra 1 millimeter and giving myself that thickness there. So I'm going to mark that, cut that out, and then repeat on another piece of card to create two slots that will go in together. So the final card modelling technique that I'm going to show you in this video is the slot and tab. Now with the slot and tab, your sizes are quite important because you need to make sure they're going to fit in together. My length here, I've gone for a length of 35 for my tab, and it's 1mm thick, just because that's how thick the piece of card is that it's going into. I would then mark that out on my other piece for my slot, so keep that at 35 and 1mm thick as well. Cutting out the part for the tab is no problem with a pair of scissors, but when it comes to doing the slot, you really do need a craft knife and a safe edge for that. It's just too tricky when it's such a small gap to be able to do with a pair of scissors. I hope that seeing these examples has been helpful. I hope that you enjoy practicing these techniques when you're at home, and I hope that they inspire you for ways that you could use card modelling in your design folios in the future.